Even if you've never cooked raw shrimp before, you can make this healthy, restaurant quality lemon garlic shrimp scampi in less than 15 minutes. I'm excited to show you how easy it is to cook juicy, flavorful shrimp in only a few minutes. Then we'll make a creamy sauce with fresh lemon, garlic, coconut milk, green onion, and Parmesan cheese. This delicious, healthy meal is nutrient dense and easily digestible without compromising on flavor. And you can serve this with your favorite rice, pasta, or my favorite, zoodles. Now, I have tried many different gadgets for turning zucchinis into zoodles, and this electric zoodle maker is definitely my favorite. So all we have to do is cut off the end of our 3 zucchinis, and you can use any combination of green or yellow. And then we just take the tamper and we push it into the end of our zucchini, push the zucchini down into the shaft, and then we're just going to apply a little bit of pressure to help push the zucchini through. So I'm just going to turn on the power button, and here we go. And then you end up with this really cute little zucchini cone at the end. And we'll do the same for our yellow zucchini. And our 3rd zucchini. And then we end up with all these beautiful spiraled zucchinis. And this is definitely #satisfying. And then we'll just dump our zucchini out onto our cutting board. And then you'll see that the inside part of the zucchini with all of the seeds kind of becomes one little cylinder. So we're gonna go ahead and pull those out because the seedy part will just kind of turn to mush in the scampi. And then to make these super long noodles a little bit easier to work with, so go ahead and just make a few chops to break them up into smaller strands. And then to help drain out some of the excess liquid, I'm gonna go ahead and just dump these out onto a towel, spread them out, and then I'll just roll up the towel, give them a nice little squeeze, and then we'll just set these aside until we're ready. And you could definitely use paper towels if you prefer. Now the shrimp scampi is going to cook very quickly once we start cooking in our pan. So we want to have all of our ingredients prepped and ready to go. So we're gonna go ahead and dice a ROMA tomato just to add some delicious flavor and some beautiful color to our scampi. Now you could also use little cherry tomatoes and cut those in half, but I have found for me personally that those tend to make my tongue kind of sting. But the ROMA tomatoes for me are a little bit gentler and I don't experience that. I'll just transfer those to a bowl. Now, if you're like me and you love the flavor of onion, but you find that it can be a little bit upsetting to your stomach or contribute to heartburn, using just a green onion can help minimize that effect. And so I'm just gonna go ahead and cut off the green stems, which we will use later as a garnish. And then I'm just going to cut the base of this onion and just dice it down into some very small pieces. Now you could absolutely use a white or yellow onion if your stomach isn't as sensitive. And we'll transfer those to a bowl. Now in general, fresh is always best, and so if you can get some fresh parsley, that will be the most delicious in this, but you could definitely use dried parsley if that's all you have. But if you have fresh, we're gonna go ahead and just finely chop some of this parsley so that we have about 2 tablespoons that we can add into our dish. This will add more fresh and delicious flavor. When it comes to Parmesan cheese, I prefer to buy the block of cheese and grate it myself. So if you buy the pre-shredded cheese, it's been coated with cellulose, which keeps the little cheese strands from sticking together. So I prefer to avoid as many unnecessary artificial ingredients as possible. So we're just gonna go ahead and grate up half a cup of Parmesan cheese. As far as I'm concerned, the more cheese, the better. So that might be a generous half cup of cheese. What really makes this sauce fresh and delicious is using lemon juice. Now, fresh lemon juice is ideal, but you can also use the store-bought if you need to. But we want to zest our lemon before we juice it. So I'm just going to use my same zester from the cheese and go ahead and zest 1 lemon. Using lemon zest is a great way to add more lemon flavor to your dish without having to add as much lemon juice if your stomach is sensitive to the acidity. Now we can cut our lemon in half and go ahead and juice it. And 1 lemon isn't quite enough, so we'll go ahead and juice a 2nd lemon. Juicing 1½ lemons was able to give us the 3 tablespoons that we want. I can just go ahead and add those to the lemon zest. And now we can prep the real star of our dish, which is our shrimp. And I find it easiest to buy the frozen shrimp that has already been deveined and peeled, and it thaws out super quick and easy. So we're going to use roughly 1 pound of shrimp. Now, the simplest way to infuse just delicious flavor into the shrimp is using sea salt and pepper. So we're gonna go ahead and spread out our shrimp here and then just take some coarse sea salt, and we want to sprinkle that all over our shrimp. So we can go ahead and move those around to make sure they're well coated. And we also want to add a few dashes of fresh pepper. All right, our shrimp are ready to go, and I have measured out 2/3 of a cup of coconut milk. And this is the milk that comes in a can, not in a carton. Now you could use any frying pan, but I'll be using my cast iron skillet to cook this dish. We want to have all of our ingredients together because this dish is going to come together very quickly. We're going to cook our shrimp first, and we just want to get a really nice golden brown color on the outside of the shrimp. We want to have very high heat so we can get that color going as soon as possible. Now that our oil looks glossy and it's nice and hot, we'll go ahead and start laying in our shrimp. And I'm going to lay them clockwise in a circular pattern so I know which ones need to be flipped first. The ones on the outside will cook a little bit slower than the ones on the inside. And you can see that they're already starting to turn pink. We want to just let them sit and brown for about 1.5 minutes. All right, so now I'm going to start working from the outside of the ones that I first put in. Now we'll just flip those little guys over. You can just see that beautiful golden color that we have on them. And color equals flavor. Well, now we have color on both sides, so we'll go ahead and transfer these to a plate. Oh, those smell so delicious. Then we add a little more oil to our pan so that we can make our sauce. We also want to turn down our heat so that we don't burn our onions and our garlic. So I'm going to turn my heat down to medium. I'm also going to take my pan off of the heat just for a minute to give it a chance to cool off. Now we can go ahead and add in our onions, as well as a pinch of salt. And we'll just give those a quick stir. And because they're so small, it doesn't take them very long. We're going to go ahead and dump in 3 cloves of garlic. I'll stir those around so they can mix in with all the flavors. Now that our garlic has softened, we can go ahead and add in our sauce. I'm going to add in the coconut milk, as well as our lemon juice and our lemon zest, and our parsley, and our ROMA tomatoes. And we'll go ahead and stir this around and let that deglaze our pan. And then we'll turn our heat up slightly just to bring this up to a boil. We're going to go ahead and add our shrimp back into our pan. Now our shrimp are fully cooked at this point, but we just want to give it a minute to be able to soak in those delicious juices. Time for everyone to go for a deep dive. And now we can add our zoodles that were wrapped in a towel, and these are only going to take about a minute or so to cook. Go ahead and just give these a quick stir. We'll give a couple pinches of salt, and then we'll just gently stir them in. Oh, that is so beautiful. If you are using pasta, this would be the time when you could absolutely add your pasta. It's been about a minute. You can see how our noodles are already cooked down, so our dish is done. Well, that is a gorgeous pan of shrimp scampi. All the gorgeous colors and textures just are so appetizing. And I think my stomach just growled because I haven't had lunch yet. So we'll go ahead and take a plate and just pull up some of those gorgeous noodles and make sure we get several of our delicious pan-seared shrimps. And get a little ladle here, make sure I get plenty of that delicious lemon sauce with the coconut milk. And while it's nice and warm, we can sprinkle on some of our Parmesan cheese, which is going to be absolutely delicious. And a little bit of our cut parsley. And for aesthetics, and if you'd like to have a little more lemon flavor, we'll just go ahead and throw in a couple little half slices of lemon. Well, that is like a beautiful piece of art, and I am so excited to try it. Now for the best part. That is so delicious. First, I get the little bit of lemon, which isn't too overpowering. And then I have a little bit of sweetness that comes from the coconut milk as well as from the shrimp. And then that cheese is just soft and creamy and just really brings all those flavors together. And then the zoodles just have a really neutral flavor that add a really yummy, just subtle crunch to it. And then the little bit of parsley and the hint of onion just add lots of flavor. That is light and refreshing and definitely physically satisfying, but it's also emotionally satisfying because of how beautiful it is. And anything with lemon seems to bring instant sunshine. Well, thank you so much for joining me today in my kitchen. And if you'd like to see the full recipe card for this video, I've included a link in the video description below. And I also invite you to like and subscribe to my channel. And if you know someone else who you think would love to have this healthy shrimp scampi, please share this video with them. And I cannot wait to have you hang out with me again in my kitchen next time.